So when we first sit down to design a truck bed, first questions we're always going to ask are, what's the customer doing with the body? What industry are they in? What specific challenges are they trying to overcome that their current equipment isn't meeting?
We also need to know what chassis they'll need to know how much payload they can haul and help design the body to accommodate the payload of the chassis.
During the design process, we'll use our CAD software to produce the drawings for the body, and then we can share those with the customer if that's something that they require and get pre-approval or go through revisions to make sure that customer is really getting what they envisioned and what they need to be able to do their job with the greatest efficiency and to build them a piece of equipment that's going to last for a long time and really suit their needs well. So once we've completed the design process, really the first step in the fabrication process is the sheet metal shop. We'll take flat sheets, put them on our lasers. We have 2 4-kilowatt laser machines we use. The lasers are really one of the biggest workhorses in the whole process because every piece of equipment we build is going to have parts that are coming off that machine. When we first purchased the lasers, it really kind of revolutionized the way that we approach the whole process of design because that allowed us to have so much more flexibility when we're designing these products. As parts progress through the sheet metal shop, they'll move from the laser table over to the press brake. The main job of the press brake is to take these parts that have been designed and cut at this point and then to form them into a usable part that's going to go into the truck bed.
So while all the sheet metal is going through the laser and press brake, all the structural steel will run through the saw shop where it'll be cut down from a stick into the usable length for all the parts on the truck bodies and trailers.
Fabricators will take all the sheet metal parts and the structural steel parts. They'll use their blueprints to lay out all the components. They'll weld the components together. They'll do all the finish grinding on the bodies. So the fabricators will also ensure that all bodies are built to customer specs and engineered prints. Once leaving fabrication, the bodies will be ready for the painting process. Once the bodies move into the paint shop, they'll be steam cleaned, degreased, then they'll go into a sanding process to make sure all sheet metal's smooth. They'll caulk all the seams to make sure we don't have any water penetration. Then they'll move into the paint booths for a primer and top coat. Once bodies are painted, they'll move into the installation and assembly area. In the installation area, our installers will take the bodies that we've produced and they'll take the truck chassis. They'll install all the electrical components into the body. They'll upfit any additional components that were purchased that we didn't produce here in-house, and they will install the bodies on the chassis. After the bodies are installed, all bodies will go through a 2-person inspection process. Each installer will check off their work and double check with a checklist to make sure that nothing's been missed or overlooked. And then it'll also require verification by the manager of that area. They'll perform the same check independently of the installer
to make sure all our quality and standards are met on every single job.
Then after that, really the finished truck will then be picked up by the customer or delivered to the customer by one of our employees.